So our final thing. Now, this has been very interesting. Apparently, rated PvP has died. At least my perception of this is someone sent me a tweet, and the numbers honestly did look a bit shocking.
It's bad. Like,
I sent the tweet to the guys. Now I'm here. This document exists. We're going to go through it. Yeah. But yeah, apparently this is bad. And even through the context of like the elite PvP rewards and things like that, this does impact players' ability to get them.
Yeah, that's
because like rating inflation means more people get them because it's easier to hit 1800 rating.
Yes, the crux of this issue is that PvP is not rewarding for systemic, obviously for design reasons, but also for systemic reasons. It's literally you have made numbers different, and the numbers are now making us all upset because we cannot get the things we want to do. And it's not just about reward in the sense of, oh, reward, you want the mount, is that all you care about, or you want the title? It's like, no, the whole, I play the video game and I get the number and my brain go, wee! That's broken. That is not working in a way that people are happy with.
So we got a lot of content here, and this is something that could be a pillar of World of Warcraft. And you could certainly argue that if it got more resources, more design time, more content, that perhaps it would be of a more broad appeal. So even if you don't like or you're not interested in it now, maybe in a different world you could be, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people, they don't want to go anywhere near arenas, but perhaps about in a battleground could be really fun. Like those funky moments of, knocking someone off the cliff in Eye of the Storm. So as for the core reasons then, why rated PvP is somewhat dying. Let's go through what's here. So no MMR inflation. So it's much slower and harder for players to gain any rating. Means that it's harder to get matched against higher skilled opponents. You can get hard stuck at a low rating because the rating inflation isn't there, and then that means it's really hard for you to actually reach those rewards, because you could say that the rating cutoffs for, say, the 1800 stuff, which is the elite set, the transmog looks really nice, that could be calibrated for a standard season. Yeah. But maybe 1800 last season is going to be more like 1600 this season or something like that. People are just feeling not incentivized to queue up and play. Overall, we're having fewer people playing. This further exacerbates the low MMR cap. And while it may have been too easy to gain rating because of the solo shuffle in Season 1, it's probably better that people have an inflated ladder to go through than a totally deflated one. Also, some balance changes. The top classes and specs have been quite stagnant. Lower ones are still at the bottom. Lack of incentives for healers to queue, where there are 40+ minute queue times for solo shuffle. The vast majority of healers actually doing solo shuffle then are Mistweavers because they're actually really overpowered right now.
There's a balance problem.
And also a lack of new and additional rewards, right? Prestigious mounts for 2s and solo shuffle, old transmogs that are unattainable, want to do some sort of, I know battle pass can be a dirty word, but the idea of in this PvP this month's or this, 6 months of PvP, this is the reward track.
A drip-free reward track, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, a reason to play that's obviously it's an extrinsic reason to play because it's on a reward track, but obviously that's what people do stuff for rewards.
Yeah, you just call it this season's honor track. Yeah. And you could make it, again, you would do it like, obviously you do it like how Halo Infinite does it. I know you might be thinking, what? That game died. But it did one really cool thing. So in most games of the Battle Pass, it's like a FOMO thing, where if the season ends, your Battle Pass, even if you paid money for it, it just goes bye. Whereas in Halo Infinite, it moves on to the next Battle Pass. But if you want to switch back to your previous Battle Pass, you can still continue progressing it. So Halo basically ensures that it doesn't delete the thing you've bought. Now, obviously, here it would be a free battle pass because this is a paid subscription video game. So this wouldn't be a thing about, monetization. It would just be like, add a new one every season and keep adding them. And when, and then if somebody, for a few seasons down the line, if somebody's finished this season's thing, they can look back and be like, of all these past rewards, what ones do I want to target next? And then as time goes on, you just have loads of stuff that you could go and earn from PvP, and people would, hey, at least they'd have something to do, something to grind out.
Yeah, that's fundamentally what you actually need, is you literally need people to go, well, I want to play the game. How do I do that? Oh, what can I do? Why would I do that? And the answer is there. It's there. So you do the game, you play the fun, you have the good, and you're done.
So let's take a look at some other things then. This is a Reddit thread, PvE difficulty versus PvP difficulty and endgame rewards.
Yep.
Not gonna lie, I've been particularly hard climbing this season in 2, 3s, and solo. As a fire mage, I was very excited about the rework, but unfortunately, it feels like I'm stuck around 2.1k in solo shuffle, 1.8 in 2s and 3s. I went on Raider.io and checked pvp.fr to check the stats and rankings in both PvP and PvE. Here's what I found in a quick search. So, 210,000 players have Keystone Master. 80,000 players have Keystone Hero, which is Mythic plus 25 on average. 2,511 guilds. So, you know, maybe what, 20 people each, who knows, whatever it is.
Definitely not.
I wouldn't do it
not
that
reliable
way.
at all.
But basically, that's the number of guilds that have got Heroic Aberrus, and 63 have got Mythic Aberrus.
Nice.
Now, what about PvE then? In 2v2, 5 people have over 2,400 rating. 3v3, 60 people have over 2,400 rating. RBGs, 13 people. And in solo shuffle, 104 people. So that just shows that these ratings are very deflated. In terms of rewards, I mean, 1,800 is the big one that people will want to hit in order to get their elite transmog set. What is above that?
Title for being the best?
Yeah,
I don't know.
You've got the title, you've got of course, the mount.
Yeah.
But the mount is still the top 0.5%, right?
Not that I know the title.
What's the mount?
So not just for grinding out wins it?
Oh, no, that's the Vicious mount. So you got the Vicious mount from Arena, but then you've got the...
Mount, is that it?
You've got the, you know, the full dragon riding customization that you unlock, the gladiators.
Honestly, I have no idea.
Okay. I forget what the gladiators mount is. Although, here's look at this. Look at Vinruki's sad face.
50 wins at 2,400.
50 wins
that
at
mount.
2,400. In that case...
Thank you, chat.
In that case, we have a very small quantity of eligible people. And I think, so if you scroll down a wee bit...
Yeah, Vinruki's been on a grind, like...
Hey, clickbait, dude. Clickbait. Because I'll have you know that 5 people can have this.
Theoretically.
Yeah, no, obviously joking. Point is, this is practically no one in comparison to what a WoW audience... You know, the top slice of WoW players shouldn't really look like that.
No.
And even if you were to do 63 times 20, which for a mythic guild is really conservative,
yeah,
it would be more people. But even if you lowballed it and had 1,260 players for mythic 9 out of 9 Aberrus, that is a hell of a lot less than if you add up all of these things. And you could say the 2,400, I think, is the equivalent. Getting that mount customization is the equivalent of Mythic's Arkareth.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's just being like, hey, you got a 2,400, you sort of stayed there. You have fucked about, you have found out, and you have succeeded. So, we've got, of course, some videos coming up from Vinruki talking about this. It's been all around the community. I found out because a few people were tagging me on Twitter about it. If you go through Twitter, you can see just a lot of people talking about this. It seems the PvP community is struggling a fair bit. Healer problems, like, I mean, I look at this and I just think, oh shit, are you telling me I'm going to insta-Q and disc? I have a feeling I'm just going to be instantly fisted by a Mistweaver.
Oh, it'll be multi-glads will be up B for a shortcut like a...
I don't want multi-glads up me.
Well.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I'm new, I'm fresh. Healers are heroes. There's literally zero reason for them to queue up. Is there? Is there not? You know...
Yeah, no additional reason.
Oh,
also,
okay.
you're a healer, so you're going to have a bad time, probably. Or a worse time.
But I suppose this thing,
Probably.
like a 40-minute queue for DPS is insane.
Yeah, that's broken. That's broken.
Yeah, so... Point being, Blizzard evidently has to do something. Now, at least this time around, I have a bit of faith that they may do something. It's certainly disappointing that it doesn't look like 10.05 or 10.15 is going to do anything. And PvP, like, we've seen them be reactive in PvE, but PvP is the one part of the game they have absolutely been the most comfortable to just let rot in the vine.
Yeah, so they've had reasonable amounts of PvP balance changes in each patch notes. That's as far as my knowledge goes. But evidently, people have a load of issues of them just been like, yeah, no, there's balance is bad. It's stagnant meta. Stagnant meta for a long time is death to a game, for sure.
Oh, yeah.
unless there's such a skill ceiling that there's like player adaptations within that meta, and that requires a very good game. Like we're talking like StarCraft here design and balance here, where it's like the meta changes by itself because it's so interesting. And so, like,
you're so right in that. I remember it was at the end. Was it the end of Brood War? No, it was the end of Wings of Liberty. Whenever it was just this big, like, Zerg Infestor meta, like, even watching pros turned into fucking treacle. It was so boring. And then I remember when they cracked that meta open with the next expansion, or whatever it was, how happy people were. They're like, finally, we don't. Was it Infestors and Broodlords? I forget exactly what it was. Yeah.
Same with fighting game stuff, where it's like fighting game tiers swap all the time, and only sometimes is that because of like developer intervention. A lot of the times, especially like early in a game, it's just, oh, this dude is this guy's the best, this guy's the best, and then someone goes, hang on, here's some tech. Or people get used to them, go, hang on, they're not winning as much. Oh, that matchup's different because we figured out we can do this, or this kind of beats this in certain situations, or even the overall meta of the game changes. But there's now an over-reliance on... Well, there's a bit of an over-reliance on developer changes, but that's a completely different topic. Ultimately, the point is, it's stagnant, and in World of Warcraft, it's going to stay stagnant because, I mean, you know how damage, like, balance works in WoW. It's just going to be busted, and that'll be it. You can't go, well, what if I take this talent and this changes? No, that's been solved. That's been solved. It's not going to help. You have to wait for nerfs to come, or you have to wait for buffs for you to come. And that's the awkward part of, like, they clearly need, I don't know if they actually managed to hire up that PvP team, but that PvP team needs a lot more resources, it seems. More or less. It almost certainly does. And, like, even the meta would be shaken up if more people played. One could argue because people aren't going to, okay, some people will, but a lot of people aren't going to re-roll their class just to play PvP if they're only doing it for the reward. And also if someone's like, well, I want to get this class's transmog, so I'll find a way to make this class good. Or I'll bring a new never played I've never played PvP before energy to PvP that PvPers don't know how to deal with. Stuff like that. That's obviously not going to work in most cases. But the idea of just, you need some stagnancy to make this work. Or some not stagnancy, you need some movement. There's an album by Chaos Bay called 2222 that I've been listening to a lot. And there's one song, I can't remember which one it's called, but it goes about, when an old dying tree has lost its power to grow, you have to let it burst. Because it's all about stagnancy is death and immortality is bad. Things need to die and grow, and that's change and stuff.
We destroyed Zodiac.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the whole thing is you need flow, and that's what the developers need to do.
Flow.
The developers need to engage flow in so many different ways, and a part of that will be getting people to play, which is all these rating changes. And this is where it boils down to the rewarding aspect of it. It's like you literally need the game to be rewarding. You look at FF14.
Do you want the Canosium to engage in a consulting contract?
Yeah, even though PvP is not my warehouse
or
my wheelhouse, but I'll figure something out.
We'll hire someone, chief.
Yeah,
PvP chief with the Canosium.
Yeah, I'll figure out a way to do it, but ultimately
our rate's 50 grand a day, 100 grand a day.
Oh my god,
truly exploit. We need to become mates with the Tories and then do contracting. That's how you do it.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
I'll get JRM on the fucking phone.
Here, Jacob, we're gonna teach you about orcs and Sir Jacob now. Teach him about his orcs and his night elves.
Yeah. So realistically, like this
corruption.
Yeah. Realistically, this needs a lot of rating all the time. You want that shit to yo-yo. You want wins to be. Now, this will be bad for a truly competitive experience. You want rating to be free as hell. You want a win to give you like 20,000 rating, and a loss to take away like 2. You just want to be shooting up, because if everyone's shooting up the same speed, the numbers will get really big, and there's probably no downsides to that.
I'm afraid.
Yeah.
I have to rate this idea as terrible.
Yeah. But yes, like Iron saying, losing a ton of rating per loss and getting hardly any per win is punishing. That's the problem where you go, well, what is your goal here? Is your goal to make a perfect operating competitive system? Or is your goal to have players play PvP and have fun and enjoy it? And your answer should always be the latter, unless you're literally like actually working for FGC stuff, or you want this, if that's your ultimate goal, and you think that, okay, well, the competitiveness will be the goal, and we'll bring everyone up to the competitive level. That's what they should be doing with like CS. That's what they should be doing with fighting games. Not entirely the focus, but that's a little bit what they should do with fighting games. That's what they should do with things. But as I was talking about earlier, Street Fighter 6 and how they went, hey, they basically went, Street Fighter 5, what do we do with that? We said, we made a load of mistakes, but also we said, we will, in the true sense of being Japanese, we'll focus down on one element and perfect it. We will make the perfect fighting game. That was kind of mid. It's fine by the end of it, but the beginning was a pretty bad game overall.
And then
but
it was good.
yeah, but it was like they just like, we have released this game. What's in it? It is a menu to online fights. Is there anything else? We'll add an arcade mode eventually, if you don't mind. If you don't mind a bit. But the point was, it was just right. You play the game, and that's it. And then everyone said that's fine. And then they released Street Fighter 6 with a load of single player content, a load of like cool shit that wasn't entirely focused on competitiveness, and everyone went, this is better. Cap God back again. And that's ultimately the thing, where you're making a video game, right? You're making a video game for people to play. You're making a part of World of Warcraft. Get any ambition out of making some perfect PvP. Get any ambition out of making StarCraft out of your head, and then take your head out of your asshole, and then make stuff that people will want to play, which is give them solo queue RPGs. Are there downsides? Yes. Sort them out. Let people play the game. What are they going to get if they win a solo queue RPG? Stuff. What are they going to get if they lose a solo queue RPG? Less stuff, but still stuff. Now, obviously, the idea of, never go down is a problem. Like that was a whole thing a while ago where someone was like, why is it not just like a grind you grind up? But that's ultimately the case of like, yeah, it should match the gameplay of the rest of it if you want those players to play. If you want the PvP people you have to actually enjoy the game, then you know what you have to do, because they fucking tell you. They say, balance this better, fix healer stuff, solo queue RPGs, we want more rating. Like, as far as the list of demands go, that seems pretty simple. But it's fundamentally like a philosophy issue, I think, where I think someone there's like, this is our baby, this is our PvP baby, this is our competitive, this is our entry into the AWC. What if the AWC is anything less than perfect competitive integrity?
Olympic
and then
PvP.
And then there's literally, that's it, the goal is we need World of Warcraft at the Olympics. And then someone just comes along and just goes, fuck that, get that away. Can we have a video game instead, please? And it's just like, okay, if they did that, they'd be happy. All of my casual friends will play PvP for a month and quit. Yeah, all you need to do is have casual people want to play PvP, and that'll be the baseline of people playing PvP, and everyone else will play on top of that. Because it's a funnel. It's literally a funnel. You get people who are like, hey, they're casual, and then they go away, and then people go, oh, this is crispy, I like this. This is juicy, this is good adjective. I'm going to have that. I'm going to continue playing this. And then you go. There's your PvPers.
Yeah.
It's
so
like,
I'm feeling like, so what do we need? I think we
content
probably
and
we
balance.
need crystalline conflict.
Yep. No, it's a case
I'm
of
joking.
like literally go, what did FF14 do? Yeah. That's a baseline to start from, which was play a shitload of this and get a big ass reward. What happens if you lose? You get XP. What happens when you get more XP? There's a ranked mode. Do the ranked mode, get a load of stuff. If you have a casual thing where people don't feel stressed about when they're losing, they'll learn the game in there. Then they'll go to the ranked with some fucking competency
Yeah, and the
some
ranked is match
confidence.
mates.
Yeah. Yeah, they'll do that. And, okay, yeah, sure. And obviously there's unrated PvP in World of Warcraft. I think so. Why would anyone do it?
Yeah. And they haven't answered that question for a very long time, because it's not a... Yeah. There's a lot that needs to be done for PvP. I have a feeling they're working on it quietly, and they'll probably have some sort of big thing for the next expansion.
Hopefully.
Yeah, at the very least, having each season having a sort of reward track. You can use the honor system, sort of hang it on top of that. So use your reward track. I'm trying to think about adding in perhaps new variations of new variations for your different your different maps, right? Different maps within game types as well. And just to keep on going with that. I think it's a really big area for growth, and I really hope they're getting around to it.
That's the thing that it's been a long time back, so I'm not going to be able to see who said. No, was it? I think it was Void Tracks said something about it's a miracle PvP is still alive, and you said this at the very start of this segment where we're talking about PvP, and it stuck with me because I've never been a big fan of PvP in WoW. I definitely have liked it at points in the past. Some of it being back in the day when you're out in the world and you kill the shit out of people or get the shit killed out of you. Maybe some of it was like just AV back in the day. I've toyed in arenas sometimes and kind of had fun. But I think like the fact that it's still alive and there's people still been passionate about it means there's clearly something about it that's special. And I think it is, because that's why I liked Heroes of the Storm, because it felt like World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Or close. It felt like a World of Warcraft MOBA in so many ways. And like, yeah, obviously it is like a load of problems, but like, just, dude, that is a spark of genuine brilliance in your game, and has been there the whole time. And this is like, I think this is one of the biggest lessons like the industry needs to learn, like the games industry as a whole, is if people are doing something, it's probably because there is some sort of magic there. You just need to harness it and actually make good on it. With the asterisks of, don't look at PvPers and go, there's 5 of you, which means this must be really good, which means there'll be 5 million of you. Let's make a WoW PvP game and put 200 million into it. Don't be stupid, but at least do things that are like completely like, do things that are reasonable and reasonably sized, in the sense that like the FGC have done that for years, where, you know, it's not like Arc System Works are turning around going, we have made the biggest fighting game of all time and took 2 billion VC to do it. They're like, we have made 1 billion video games and you probably like them all or play them all enough, and here's our tournaments and they're pretty small but we like them. It's like, and it's antithetical to the line must go up that happens across other video games, but PvP specifically is literally just, here lads, there's about X thousand people, maybe X 10,000, maybe X 100,000. There's X thousand people will enjoy this, and the returns from you doing this reasonably are probably going to outweigh the cost. So just go and do it. Go and make it. And even then,
hard to see why it hasn't happened yet.
And the prestige of it as well is important, because you go, World of Warcraft has 3 pillars of content. It has collecty people, mythic plussers, and raiding. And obviously there's like, you could say, well, collected, what about the casuals? You know, you say, well, M plus and raids kind of overlap, especially now with gear collection. So imagine you could say, from 2 perspectives, from the perspective of marketing and like general like vibes and general like, oh well, what do people say about the game? Like a PvP revival in World of Warcraft. That's the kind of headline you fucking want. That's the kind of headline. That's the PC Gamer article you need. You need PvP in World of Warcraft is back, or is flourishing, or is better than ever. You want one of those. But also, to me, there's a bit of I'm gonna fucking spoil how I think people may think I'm vaguely logical at times, but there is a sense of spirituality and esotericism and just make the good thing happen. If you make the good thing happen and make the people happy, that's going to reward you in some capacity. I don't necessarily believe in karma in a pure thing, but it's literally, if you fix the game and make the game good, where's the downside? People will be like, that game's good now, sweet. And the vibes you put into the world by making your game good is just going to work. It's just going to help you. Like, I don't see any, I mean, obviously there's probably a million reasons why it's not. A million probably good reasons too. But it's just, yeah, as everyone says, if you build it, they will come. I know that's, I think recently that's actually a bad thing to say, because most people have completely destroyed the point of it. If you build it, they will come.
If you build a multiplayer, live service, action combat shooter game, they will come.
Yeah, because
Said every VC before they probably
Yeah.
lit a very large amount. There are so many of these games in development right now. They're all fucked. They're all fucked.
and that's
Like, how many of these friggin' VC, like, let's do this, but Darkov, let's do this, but that. There's gonna be a bloodbath.
yeah, this is
I
what
feel.
yeah, because that, if I'm not mistaken, that comes from Field of Dreams, the baseball movie. That phrase, where I may be misremembering this. I've never watched it, but I've read the synopsis multiple times because I forget every time. I'm pretty sure there's a load of baseball ghosts. And the baseball ghosts are telling the fella to build a stadium. And he needs to build a stadium. And the whole point is, if you build it, they will come. And it's all about setting the dreams to rest. Maybe it wasn't maybe it was some other like Ghost of a Kid who wanted to be a baseball player, something along those lines. But I'm not going to let the truth of this movie or phrase get in the way of the point I'm going to make, which is the point is something was there. There is like an essence. There is a spiritual. There are people want it, and this isn't just fucking made up people like in VC's heads, where they're like, if people play Call of Duty, they'll play fucking Bejeweled Warzone, they'll play Stardew Valley Tarkov, like they'll play X plus Y. In this case, it's like actually, yeah, there's evidence here, not made up shit. There's evidence here that people want it. So, what is there to lose if you hire a bigger task force or give the task force an extra, like, couple $100K and go, there you go, sort it out. Go have the fun. Go make the game good. Build the game and see if they will come.
Yeah, we'll just have to see, and that's a big thing. See what happens. There's a lot of lapsed PvPers that you gotta resurrect somehow, and who knows how that'll happen.